Hey guys, I hope that you're well. If this is the first video that you're seeing, my name's Susie, and this is the third of kind of a series of short videos that I'm sharing on how I manage my MS and don't just survive with MS, but I absolutely thrive and live a way more active, well life than even before when I was normal. So I'm just going to reiterate something that I mentioned in video 1, and that is that I'm not a doctor. I'm just a normal person, a normal girl who has been working for the past few years at balancing, rebalancing, learning, experimenting with loads of different things to see how I can reach my peak level of wellness. And I'm really excited to say 2017 was the healthiest year or most well year that I have ever had, I think, in my entire life. So before we even go any further, I want to share some awesome news with you. I'm so excited because I got a letter today from my neurologist regarding my scan that I had. It was actually back at the end of November, I think it was. And those MSers out there will know the kind of trepidation that you feel when you're waiting for the results of your scan. And I'm stable. Everything has remained as normal. So I've got no new lesions, nothing extra to worry about. So I am maintaining a stable, well lifestyle with putting everything in place that I am at the moment. So it gives me butterflies to talk about that. I'm so happy. I could literally cry. So, okay, so what are we going to talk about today? The rock and roll topic of gut health. And I wasn't going to jump into this, but actually it's a really natural follow-on from the video that I shared yesterday about nutrition. So I thought it was probably good to kind of layer on the knowledge with that and tips with it. So that's what we're doing today. This is a huge topic, and it's not one that I'll be able to share every snippet of information or every fact and number or everything at the one time. But the idea of these videos is that it gives you a spark of inspiration to go and find out some more. So that's what we're going to do today. Please forgive me for I'm a bit sniffly and I'm a bit out of breath because I've got a cold coming on, I think. But I guess the amazing thing to share with you is, you know, the winters that I used to have for my whole life was that I would always have at least one throat infection, always have at least one chest infection every year, and a million colds. So if I'm only just getting a cold now, this is the norm. Since I've been eating the way I explained to you in video 2 yesterday, and since I've been really focusing on my gut health, actually my kind of winter health is second to none. So I normally maybe catch one cold in the winter time, and I think this might be the one. But so without further ado, I'll jump into this. So with why gut health, there's so much research coming to the fore at the moment that gut health is correlated with so many different illnesses: diabetes, MS, and any autoimmune condition. The list goes on and on and on. And it's really something that I believe should be starting to be taught in kind of base level biology and an understanding of that. I think it's that basic a need for understanding how your body works and how it influences your overall health. And I really wish that I had understood this 10 years ago. The reason for that is that 10 years ago, probably a wee bit more, is when I was told officially that I had leaky gut. Who cares? I got bloated. That's how I felt at the time. Okay, I get bloated. I've had IBS for years. What does that matter? I didn't understand the implications of it. I just thought of the kind of aesthetics of, oh, I get bloated now and then. It's a bit of a pain in the backside. My clothes don't fit me, but hey ho, let's carry on. I wish somebody had taken the time to explain to me, or I wish I had taken the time to understand what gut health is all about. Because if I'm being really honest with you, if I had understood that 10 years ago, and this is how passionately I feel about it, if I'd understood it then, maybe just maybe, I wouldn't be in the position that I am today with full-blown MS, for want of a better way of describing it. Who knows? I'm not saying that it's going to fix you. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not a doctor. That's my personal opinion. I wish I'd understood it all those years ago. So let's think about it. Every single item that you put in your body, every bite, every morsel, it interacts with your gut. So that's probably the biggest thing that you can consider. And then let's think about this. 80% of your immune system is located in your gut. 80% of your immune system is located in your gut. Like, that's mind-blowing. So that means that every scrap and every morsel that passes past your lips is interacting with your gut. So it's really going to, like, the capital city of your immune system. And that's having a massive influence on that immune system. So why is it having an influence on your immune system? What does it matter that everything interacts with your gut? And by the way, your gut's also called your second brain. If you've not come across that before, just think how powerful that is. It's your second brain. Like, again, that's mind-blowing. I find this all so fascinating, so I really hope that it kind of piques some interest for you guys too. So when your gut is well-oiled and working well, your gut wall, I don't know what the hand gestures are, but your gut wall is permeable. So what that means is that, and you do learn that in basic biology, what that means is that it lets the good stuff through. It lets the nutrients through into your bloodstream, and it keeps the toxins, the bad stuff, in your gut and passes through your system. So what happens when it's not working so well? It means your gut becomes totally permeable. I should have said that your gut before is a barrier, but your gut now becomes totally permeable. So that means that it lets everything through. So you can see diagrams of this, and you kind of see that the gut wall actually sort of, in my mind, loosens. You get a bit more space in it, and it lets toxins pass through into your body. When they pass through that permeable gut barrier, it then means that through your bloodstream, they're then distributed throughout the rest of your system. So you know those cold and flu adverts that you see for medicine? This is what I always think of, where you see like the germs in your body, and you see like your immune system going to attack the germs in your body. There's like wee cartoon characters. I kind of imagine that. And it means that your immune system then kicks in because toxins have passed through into your bloodstream, are being distributed through your entire body. Your immune system kicks in and then goes to attack those toxins. So that means that your immune system is attacking your whole body. So you're eating 3 times a day. If you're eating things that are not good for your gut, and there's other factors in this, but if you're eating things that are not good for your gut, that means that pretty much all day, every day, your immune system is fighting off the toxins. It's attacking your body to try and regain the balance again. Now, why does that matter, particularly with MS? Well, as you know, when you have MS, it basically means that your immune system is kind of overactive and keeps going and attacks your own body anyway. So anything that triggers your immune system, you really don't want that to happen. So it's particularly bad for MS as an example. So that's why it's important. What happens when it's not working well? It may never result in any form of condition for you, but it may result in leaky gut, a condition like that. So to catch up on my notes, I did jot down a few things to keep me focused on this conversation. Such a wealth of knowledge and information that you can find and pass on. So just catching up. Now, I've talked about food being one of the key things that influence your gut and the wellness of your gut. Food isn't the only cause of unbalance, so we'll come on to that in a wee second. What to look for, like what are the key signs of having a leaky gut? And really your doctor is the first person to talk to about this, and there are specialists that you can see out there as well. But just some information for you. If you're getting consistently bloated, if you've got a dodgy tummy, diarrhea, PCOS, PMS, anxiety, depression, ADHD, skin issues, Candida albicans, if that's ever been thrown at you, that phrase, and it was for me. Again, I didn't understand it. I was told and knew that it was the bacterial imbalance that feeds on sugar. So when you feed it sugar, it just gets worse. But I didn't really understand what that was. Brain fog, do you suffer from that? Frequent colds, well, I told you at the beginning that I used to get them all the time. Muscle pain, allergies. So these are just some of the kind of key things. If you're getting consistently, it might be worthwhile speaking to your doctor about it. So, and I'm not saying that if you have one cold, then that means that you've got a leaky gut. So use your own savvy with this. What causes leaky gut? I mentioned that food isn't the only thing that creates imbalance there or unbalance in your gut. So in video 2, and if you've not watched it, maybe time to go back and take some time to have a look at it. But we talked about inflammatory food. So inflammatory food is something that contributes and causes leaky gut. So some examples of that: alcohol, sugar, gluten, grains, nightshades. Go and Google that. I can't go into all of these different things at the moment, but if you're interested, I will. But then aside from that, antibiotics. So for me, this is a consideration, because if I do get, say, some form of infection, then I kind of want to nip that in the bud, as we all do, because you don't want to have any prolonged kind of that your immune system is fighting against, and then, you know, it can worsen your MS symptoms. And I always remember my first neurologist right at the very beginning, he said, any sign of anything, nip it in the bud. Your teeth, colds, flu, anything. So I've always kind of held that close to my heart. So if I do get something, then I kind of want to be fixing that as soon as possible. So I do want to take antibiotics if it's relevant. So what happens if antibiotics don't help your gut? Well, there are some things at that point that I would then really step up supplements that I have and things that I add in to look after my gut. I just kind of times it by a million to really focus on maintaining or regaining that balance. So antacids can create problems. Now, indigestion all the time from eating things that didn't agree with me. And do you know, since I eat the way that I eat, I've not had to take any form of antacids or digestion aids in that form ever since. So there are other things, radiation, some unavoidable areas, stress. Stress has a massive influence and can influence leaky gut as well. So that's kind of a bit of a summary. What is it? What to look for? What causes it? And something that blew my mind, and that seems to be my day, but something that blew my mind was that I kind of thought leaky gut was just a leaky gut. I didn't really think about it. But a leaky gut means a leaky body. So there's, again, a whole kind of host of information that I could go into with this. But there's even like a kind of brain barrier that you have that protects your brain from toxins going into that area. If your gut's leaky, then that's leaky too. That's kind of frightening stuff. Now, I'm no expert, so I'm just dropping in little bits about what I have learned and the knowledge that I've gained over the years. But that, I think, is unbelievable. So more and more it kind of layers on for me that this is really something that you should be thinking about. That's what I used to think to myself. So the good news, I feel it's all been doom and gloom about gut health so far. The good news is that you can heal it. There's quite a few things that I do with regards to that. So I use glutamine. It's an amino acid, it's natural, and I use that. I just add a little scoop of that to my smoothies. Sometimes I'll add it to, like, I keep mentioning chocolate mousse. I don't make it all the time, but sometimes I'll add it to things like that. Collagen can help leaky gut, so supplements of collagen. acidophilus. So if you've not heard of acidophilus before, it's good bacteria. So I'm not talking about the good bacteria little drinks that you get, because they are packed with sugar. And actually, you know, the jury's out on whether they have any positive influence on your gut health at all. So I'm not talking about them. Acidophilus is good bacteria just through and through, nothing else kind of with it. You can take them in capsule form. That's what I do, so it doesn't taste of anything, and it's really easy. I take them every single day without fail. What else do I take? Enzyme Digest. It's pretty much peppermint oil, but I really find that they help me. All of these things you can get in health food stores. They're not necessarily the cheapest things in the world, but they're quality and they last you a long time. So it's always months before I have to go and kind of stock up on them again. So Enzyme Digest, and as I mentioned, if I have something like where I'm taking antibiotics, or if I think my gut health has been compromised in any way, then I'll just up these quite a bit. So I'll just take a step back to the glutamine side of things, which is an amino acid. There's some evidence that says that in larger quantities, it's not the best thing for you to take. So, you know, I find it really, really helpful personally. So just make sure that you kind of follow the instructions and don't like go crazy and have tons of the stuff. So aside from all of that, let's make this a bit real, and I want to talk about me and a bit more of an influence that gut health has had on me. So before I got really, really sick, and before I was first admitted to hospital, at the time with a suspected stroke, but it turned out to be MS, before that happened, I was struggling for a good, I'd probably say a couple of months looking back now, and I kept moaning to my boyfriend, and I was moaning, that I was always bloated, and I couldn't understand it because I was fit, well, healthy, exercised, thought I was eating a diet that was healthy, but I was eating to be slim, if I'm being honest at that point. I wasn't eating to truly feed my body and maximize my wellness. But I thought I was healthy. I wasn't eating anything that should really dramatically be bloating me. I wasn't eating anything I was intolerant to. So it just got worse and worse and worse. And to the point, actually, on the Friday, just before, it was Friday, and I was admitted to hospital the following Wednesday. So from Friday to Wednesday, my slurring got worse and worse. And the symptoms kind of reared their heads that are what admitted me to hospital. It was really bad. My stomach was huge. So looking back, that was when my symptoms were at their absolute worst that I was admitted to hospital. I don't think that's a coincidence, that my tummy was at its worst at the same time. So that's just a little bit of food for thought for you. So hopefully that inspires you a little bit to find out more about gut health and what causes it and what you can do to help it. I honestly cannot tell you how passionately I feel about this, because as I say, if I had just taken it upon myself to understand about gut health all those years ago, maybe I wouldn't be in the position that I am today. I'm a great believer, you know, and we're given the things that in life that we can cope with, and that there's always an opportunity to find a positive in it. I am that sort of person. Doesn't mean I don't have my down days, because I definitely do. I'm human. There have been tears, there have been, you know, really sad moments, and many of them, but I am a positive person, and I feel good about where my life is today, and I'm happy. I wanted to share with you that maybe I could have avoided getting to this stage. So if you don't have a condition right now, and I mentioned this about nutrition, if you start to focus on gut health and really see how your wellness, then imagine the loss that you could reach, you know, incredible ones. Gut health is well worth considering. And if you have any intolerances or think that there are certain foods that you eat, most people say, when I have a glass of milk, this is how I feel. If I have pasta, this is how I feel. There'll be a food for you, potentially. and I'm saying this to everybody, there'll be a food to and you know that you don't react well to. So it's worthwhile considering intolerances and maybe getting looked into, or just cutting that out, because that's also something that's creating inflammation in your body and not good for your gut health and not good for provoking a reaction from your immune system. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you're enjoying these videos. I really, really, really appreciate all the positive feedback that you guys have been giving me, and it definitely is inspiring me, and I'm gradually overcoming my fear of this whole video thing and exposing myself, because this literally is me and my life and what I do. So I really appreciate your comments and your shares and your likes and your thoughts. It really means a lot to me. So aside from that, have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go and have my Monday night celebrating that my MRI is stable, and I'll leave it at that. Take care, guys. Bye.